physical, tough, hard-fought win against a really good opponent, and again, a credit to Coach Stoops and his team. That was a gutsy win, and we had to bring it for 4 quarters. They weren't gonna let off. I thought it was emotional early. I thought there was kind of some maybe a little too much emotion early on. That's again a signature of Kentucky teams that they're going to fight and be tough. I think coming off a bye week, they were ready. I thought in the first half, they kind of had the physical edge. But as the game settled there, as the half extended, I felt like we started to get into rhythm, and we were able to play to our identity, and to obviously finish the half with points was huge. I'm proud of our team. We're not surprised to be here. We knew it was going to take everything we had. The guys delivered, and we get to celebrate a win on the road, which is always special. For us, this is going to be a chance we'll celebrate on the bus ride home. We'll get home late, and pretty quickly thereafter, we're going to switch our attention to Ball State. But again, I'm grateful for the team I have. I'm grateful for their competitive spirit. I'm very proud of the fight they've shown and the belief they have in one another. And we expected to win that game, and they delivered. And so a credit to them.
Clark, what does it say coming off the win last week? They could have lost focus, but they came in here to took care of business. What does that say about your team?
It says that the team is hungry for more, and we're not going to let one game define our season. I think sometimes external narratives try to paint that picture. It's never been our reality. We know how to celebrate, and we understand that last week was an important marker for us. We do get that, but it's always about what comes next. And what I'm really interested in, because there's things we can clean up tonight. How we find our highest level as a team and really have some fun. But this team is focused. I think we're having a lot of fun right now, just not even independent of results. This team likes each other, and I hope that everyone that's watching is paying attention to the competitive spirit, but the affection these guys have for one another, because I don't know that happens everywhere in college football anymore. I shared that with the team afterwards. I'm inspired by the way that they play for one another in a world that's become defined by transaction, and not that the transaction is not important, but this is a team that is fighting together, and they understand that, or they're interested in being a part of something bigger than themselves. And so I'm very proud of them, but I think that defines a lot of the process that they take on, the focus they have, because they want to be great for each other each Saturday.
Was that a knee for Diego, and how much was it going to take for him to not come back in that game?
Well, short of amputation, I think that dude's playing. He's tough. I'm not sure the specific. He got his knee banged up. They just wanted to check it out. He was fine. He's going to get banged up. This is a tough stretch. So he's a fun player to have on our team. He fights every night. He's got the chip on the shoulder that defines our program, and he's going to be okay.
What happened with Miles Capers, and is he okay?
Miles is doing well. He joined us for the end of the game on the sideline. I want to credit our medical team. And I think anytime you're dealing with a neck injury, you want to be so cautious and take every precaution. So our doctors and Ray, the work they did to get to Miles, to assess Miles. You'd want to talk about a group of pros. The way they handled all that, the way they talked to Miles and calmed him down. I want to also thank Kentucky's medical team, who was there to assist. And I also want to thank Coach Stoops, who in that moment, anytime as a coach you have a player down and they're bringing the board out, that's a tough moment. Coach Stoops, was such a class act to come out and to check on him and to check on me. And I got a ton of respect for Mark. Again, I think this program has been kind of the signature of a program builder that sustains success. But I'm happy to report that Miles is doing well. I don't know if there will be lingering effects, but he's doing just fine. He's got a smile on his face, and he was happy to be back out on the sideline. So scary moment, but again, I think everyone involved medically that took the precautions necessary to make sure he was okay.
Bryce Cowan almost forced a couple of turnovers there. They were overturned, of course, but what did you see from him tonight? And I think like his 4th or 5th snap of the season.
Bryce has the potential to be a really, really good player. He's also had his best 2 weeks of practice, and he was. I'll be interested to watch the film and to correct the mistakes. But what I know is, when he's out there with his length and his athleticism, he has a chance to make big plays for you. And Coach Lazinski and I talked about it leading into the game that he had an opportunity to fill up some of those windows in zone coverage, and he did. And I wish that he could have just finished on the one that he picked. But again, I hope to have him in those positions moving forward, and he's continuing to define the role he can have to help us win.
Defensively, how did you guys settle in, I guess, in the second half?
Well, it was going to be a slugfest. I think we knew that possessions were going to go long. So much of the challenge was getting them to third down. I wish that we had been a little better on early downs against the run. I thought some penalties showed up in opportune times. I also felt like the penalties showed up for them too, so that can be a wash. But I thought they physically ran the ball on us early. We knew the quarterback run was going to be a part of that formula. We saw that against Ole Miss. That's a good offense. They have an identity. They play tough. Short of the touchdown catch, which I want that call back in the fourth quarter there. I mean, I felt like on the whole we were able to keep their explosive skill players in check. I thought the quarterback extended a little too much. We wanted to keep him in the pocket, but I thought we were opportunistic and were able to create. We disrupted the ball and ultimately finished the game when we needed to. And so once we were able to build a lead and we made it a pass-first game, we were able to get a subgroup out there, and I felt like kind of controlled the line of scrimmage. We created some holds, and then we had some shells that were tough for the quarterback. So well done in execution there. Certainly there's a better performance for us, but I'm proud of the way the guys fought.
Having had the week that you guys had with all the media attention that could have easily caused a distraction, how do you think that the team handled that in a way that allowed you to still have the performance that you had today?
Yeah, I mean, again, I would just say that they're not going to let one game define their season, for better or for worse. So this is a process-driven program. There's a great belief in who we are and what we do, and we have really strong player leadership. So they set a tone. I mean, I can set the course, but they set the tone, the spirit of the work. And I knew on Sunday that they were going to be ready. We had a great Tuesday, stacked to Wednesday, stacked to Thursday. I thought we were focused on Friday, and the long day today they handled really well too. That's the other part of it. I mean, you never know with these late kicks how the day impacts the mindset, the mentality taking the field. But I don't know. We have a mature team that has clear goals, and again, I credit them for taking the message and applying it, actualizing it. And that's what we did.
3.9 yards per carry for you guys, but that includes multiple pretty big sacks. So, you ran the ball pretty well against the big interior. How were you guys able to neutralize Walker and those guys? I think it's the kind of three-headed monster. You got the dive, the quarterback, and the pitch, and I think there's so much we do formationally that challenges the opponent. And so it wasn't always pretty, but it doesn't always have to be. I thought there were some really tough runs in there. Seti again shows up as just a physical runner. Obviously we know Diego, but look, he pitched the ball to Eli Stowers once for a nice gain. I mean, they're just getting so many people involved. And then, you can't talk about the run game without talking about our offensive line. And I thought another good performance from them. We'll look at some of the pressures and stuff like that. that's not always a breakdown at the line of scrimmage. You know, sometimes that's decision making for the quarterback or route running, whatever, or design. You know, so we'll get that figured out. But it starts with the run game for us, and we did enough tonight to win.
Richie Hoskins' huge third down catch and then the touchdown there, was that, I mean, obviously those were called plays, but was there an intent to get Richie involved potentially today, or was it just kind of how the game?
No, just how the game went. I mean, Richie's been such a consistent contributor for us. I think the hard thing about receiver is there's one ball, and what I'd like to point out that I think marks a shift in our program. Watch those guys block on the perimeter. Watch our receivers block on the perimeter. And that shows you the level of devotion they have to us winning games. There's one ball, you know, we're a run first approach. We're starting to get better at spreading the ball around a little bit and unlocking some of those plays from the receiver core. But Richie's a guy that, you know, I mean, he never once complains, never once flinches, continues to do his job. And when you have that approach, you get rewarded. You know, sometimes it doesn't happen as fast as we want to, but I think there's a lesson in that for everybody. You know, you stay in process, you commit yourself to it, and in time you have moments. And the biggest thing, it's the mentality. And I talked about this a little bit last week with Junior. It's like, you know, are we mature enough to be in the right position, in the right mindset when the team needs us? That means that we haven't had a lack of receptions or a lack of targets bring us down. Because the minute you go into that selfish headspace, it's hard to dig yourself out of it. But again, that's Richie Hoskins. I mean, he's a walk-on in this program who's now a captain, who came up in a big way, in a big moment, for a big win for our program.
One more?
The willingness of Diego to go back out there and keep playing even after he kind of got banged up, what does that say about, you know, his mentality and the kind of leadership that he brings to the program?
Yeah, I don't know that there's anything else I can say about Diego's mentality and leadership. I mean, he's other than just to say, like, he's so committed and devoted and disciplined in his process. One of the things that I hope that everyone knows, as much swagger as he carries himself with, and we love that. I love the confidence he plays with. But as much as that confidence comes out, that dude dedicates himself in the week to being prepared. He's a quiet competitor in practice. He goes about his business. He builds connections with guys, meaningful connections with guys in the locker room. He's got such gratitude to be at Vanderbilt for all the things that are happening around him. And I don't know, it's just the markings of someone that you want to be around. I mean, I can't say enough about him, but certainly, you know, as I said earlier, I mean, he's not going to be held out of the game. He's always going to get back in there and find a way. And if anything, sometimes, you know, we have to be there to protect him from himself. But once they give him the go, he's going to be out there taking the snaps.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Good, happy to see you.